still have Facebook. And I think it's interesting that some of the people that are on there I've been friends with for years. They are literally posting things like, I don't care if I've known you for 20 years. If you say anything bad about Charlie Kirk, then you can just defriend me now. These people don't know Charlie Kirk personally. But it's interesting that they have this kind of energy for a person like him, but they don't have the same energy for the same mass pew-pewing at the Colorado school that happened on the same day. They have this type of energy for somebody who would call out Charlie Kirk for the things that he has been saying, the hate that he has been stoking, the environment that makes us all more unsafe, himself included. They have energy for the people calling out that, but not energy for the things that he has said. Not one of them has come out saying that, oh, perhaps he shouldn't have said that unalivings are worth it to keep the Second Amendment. I personally wonder if he was still thinking that way at the end. Was his life worth it? I would venture to say not, and I don't even like the guy. But this is a guy who would say that people like Joy Reid or Ketanji Brown Jackson took white jobs via affirmative action because black women do not have the brain capacity for higher paying and high educational jobs. Same guy. This is the same guy who looked at someone in his audience who said that he was called the N-word all the time, looked at that boy in the eye and said, I think you're lying. This is the same guy who looked a girl in the face and told this girl that he would make his 10-year-old daughter have a child if she was SA'd. Same guy. The same guy who said that black people shouldn't get reparations because they have had 150 years and they are only where they are because of their bad choices. But if you guys have been rolling with me for a while, you know that I have a video explaining exactly what happened to those black towns that pulled themselves up by the bootstraps he's talking about. And yes, I do have a clip of him saying all of these things that I will be attaching to my YT and my Substack video. So if you don't follow me on YT or on Substack, then go and follow me there and you'll get the clips of him saying all of these things and more at the end of that video. But I think everybody is running away from a very teachable moment here. This is a very teachable moment. And a lot of people would much rather dig deep into their prejudices, their hatred, their bigotry, instead of actually learning from the moment. Right before Charlie Kirk was unalived, seconds before it happened, they were talking about mass pew-pewings around the country, demonizing black people and trans people in his last moments of life, while most likely the person that ended him looked like him, as they always do. I am a firm believer that you get back what you put into the world. And his stance on sacrificing our children for a hobby while also claiming to be pro-life, how is it that you are so pro-life that you would force your 10-year-old to have a kid, but you won't save that 10-year-old or the kid that she has from a pew-pew at a school? When does the sanctity of life end for you? That's a question for Republicans in general. You cannot be pro-life, and you cannot be so pro-life that you would torture a 10-year-old with childbirth and then not care if that same 10-year-old or the child she birthed is unalived in a school. It doesn't make sense. There is no universe, no timeline where that actually works. People have been quiet about everything else that has been going on. The unaliving of political figures on the left, people being kidnapped off the street by the frozen people, sending our military against its own citizens, against our Constitution that they say they know. They probably know it and love it as well as they know their Bible that they don't read. They are silent about the perpetuation of racism from this same guy, about the sexism and the homophobia, the transphobia from this same guy. They are silent about the lives that have potentially been lost because of his rhetoric. But then they want us to sing his praises when the karma that he put out boomerangs back to him. It doesn't work that way. People like Charlie Kirk lack foresight. As he was making those statements about how unalivings were worth it to preserve the Second Amendment, I bet you he did not think that that would be his end. I bet he only thought that it would happen to other people. And that is the difference. When I fight for common sense legislation, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the Charlie Kirks of the world. I'm doing it for the people I don't know. If you are the type of person who only cares when it's you or your friends or people that you know who is affected, and you call yourself a Christian and you don't care about the people that you don't know, you don't fight for the people that you don't know, you've got some splaining to do, or you will, because you lack foresight. You don't even understand that giving other people their rights ensures that you have rights. When black people fought and they gained civil rights and things like voting rights and affirmative action and diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility were created, that didn't just affect black people. We are the least of the recipients for these laws. We fought for other people to have rights. The people who didn't even take to the streets with us benefited from our actions. And it's the same now. When we fight for legislation, it doesn't just affect us. We're fighting for you as well. When people on the left fight for common sense legislation, SNAP, healthcare, our farmers, it doesn't just affect us on the left. The people on the right also get the benefit. And they fight so hard against the people on the left with these stupid social issues that have nothing to do with them, while they are reaping the economic benefits of left policies until they're not. People are hurting right now. The right has gotten their way. They have passed legislation, ended contracts, losing jobs. Our farmers are going under in multiple states. We are losing allies, partnerships. Other countries are stopping their exports to us. We are hurting. Veterans are losing their health care and their mental health care. Children are losing access to food. People are being unhoused. The Republicans, MAGA, Bone Spurs, they are making a lot of people angry, and not all of them on the left. But Charlie Kirk did do something against the right. He was calling for the release of the E-Man files. And with his influence, the momentum was building. Charlie Kirk's unaliving, as public and grotesque as it was, served two purposes. The first, the news shifted from the E-Man files to him. The second, it united the right again against the left and made them forget in their emotional rage to be angry about the E-Man files. But Charlie Kirk didn't like empathy. He said, I hate empathy. I think it's dangerous. And I prefer to honor his wishes. I feel like we all should do the same.
Should black people get reparations?
I believe they should.
So I, white man, have to play for black people. Why?
Wow, that's a really selfish thing you
just
said.
Hold on. Why should I have...
That's a really non-empathetic thing to say.
Why should I have empathy for a race? I have white guilt because I breathe? Why should the white students here have to work harder to pay for black kids? What is that all about?
Not every black person has lineage connected to slaves.
That's true.
Every white person doesn't have lineage connected to slaves.
Yes, that's right. So since every black person doesn't have a lineage connected to slaves, why should we generalize and say reparations for black people?
Because there are people that are in a worse place.
So over 150 years, they didn't have any ability to make better decisions, to save money, and to invest. How about you take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming the white man?
Hey everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
Larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right?
Say what? Say the what?
The N-word. I'm not going to say it on this public platform, but people say it to me all the time.
It derogatorily.
Yes.
No, I think you're lying.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was going to give birth and she would, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52. I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but I can't stand the word.
I think this is a prime example of the devil's chickens coming back home to roost. That the chickens that he sent out, the violence that he's perpetrated in other countries, here and abroad, be it 4 children in Birmingham or Medgar Evers or Lumumba in Africa, I think this same violence has come back to claim one of their own. Now, being an old farm boy myself, chickens coming home to roost never made me sad. In fact, it's only made me glad.